Yo, what up? And welcome to the Tailgate, an extension to a regular podcast where we get you hyped and ready for the game. I'm your host, Smarts, alongside the always angry Angel, his counterpart, Instigating George, and the man with some facts, Masa. This is the Tailgate. Good evening. What's going on?
What it do, baby?
What's up?
Go ahead, Paul George. Confirmed.
Oh, you seen this? So,
Hey, 2 and 3, T3.
yeah,
I'll
3 to
take
3. Yeah, you seen this shit?
Yeah.
Just tight. I seen that today. And I was like, oh, that's legit. That's pretty dope. All right, my bad.
that. Welcome to a basketball podcast.
You right? And it's funny because off the air I was saying like, hey, let's get into it. This is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna make sure to snap you and get out of here. You know, we always gotta shoot the shit. But it is a tailgate, so we're gonna get you ready for the game on Portland. But before we do, we got a couple things. News item number one. Disco saw what we saw and said there was nothing there. No suspension for Zlatan. Just a warning, which I thought it was hilarious though. Like, so the news is Zlatan's not getting suspended. Nothing there. Just kind of gave him a slap in the hand. Mm-hmm. My thing is though, like, why would you put a statement out for that? All right, doesn't it seem a little weird? Like, you shouldn't just send
On behalf of who?
like Disco put out a statement saying like, you know, there's gonna be just a warning. Like,
You know what? Because I feel that there was so much attention to that one thing. You had so many people bringing it up. We had a supporters crew that wrote a Eminem Stan verse for them. It's like I get why they put it out. I feel bad because I'm pretty sure they thought of it like, all right, cool, nothing really happened here. Let's keep it moving. But I feel they had to do their due diligence when it came to that, which is cool.
So what happens is like, in order for them to have so they can't do a one game suspension. And I read this. I didn't know this prior to today, but Disco can't do a 1 game suspension, right? Because since VAR got introduced, they can no longer give a single game suspension. So it has to be a multiple game suspension that they come in with. And they couldn't get a unanimous vote on giving him a multiple game suspension, so they had to just.
You know why? You know why?
Why? All right, tell me why.
Because they want him to play the All-Star game, and if they were to suspend him, he would have been like, nah, fuck the All-Star game.
I was suspended. I can't.
That's accurate.
Yep. Listen, I'll take it though. I mean,
but regardless, that shit was not to go up to debate or discussion anyway. That shit was not intentional. Like, I don't know.
I've had too much discussions on it on via Twitter. It's crazy how people thought that even if it was intentional, even if it was nothing, he could have gone with his elbow and really hit him. It was a forearm type of thing. I don't know if he has the most pointiest forearms in the world, if he has cones coming out of that shit, because there's an indenting. They indented the. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, we talked about it on Monday. I just kind of wanted to bring up the fact that he won't be spent, so we will have him for Portland, which we'll talk about in a bit. But also yesterday we played the first game of Leagues Cup, right? And it was the weirdest game for me to watch because I got home right before it started. So, you know, I threw on TV, me and Anna are hanging out, just watching the game. And I'm kind of like, I'm not necessarily not rooting for the team, but I'm also not really rooting for the team. I'm out up on my feels. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Because I kind of don't want to win. I don't need another game in August where we have 5 matches in August already. So I don't want another game. But man, the reserves and the guys from G2, they came up and they put a valiant effort. You know what I mean? A valiant effort.
I had the same conflicting feelings about it because when we scored, I was like, hell yeah. And when they scored too, I was like, I don't even want to win this. I'm cool.
Good, yeah.
And then we went into penalties. Like, I hope we win it. And then it was just back and forth. It was cool to see. Like, all in all, it was good to see the fight, and we'll get into it. But that feeling of we don't even care about it, but then if we got it, let's take it.
Yeah,
that's how I felt all day, right? And then I got there.
Yeah, because you went to the stadium.
Yeah, so I got there and I was like, nah, I want to win. Like, and then everybody's like, nah. No one wants to win this shit. Let's just go out here and have some fun. I saw the lineup. I'm like, I understand no one wants to win, dog, but if we win with this team we put out, why not?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Why not? And
100%.
It should happen, you know.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, right? It was Lamson in the back.
Mm-hmm.
With,
Big Lamson, dog.
Big Lamson. Lamson in the back with Pipo and Romney in the middle. Out wide was Shelvick on the left, and who was on the right again?
Araujo.
Oh,
Araujo.
Araujo, right? In the midfield.
Looking at that back line, it's not like it was a weak back line.
Not at all. I could see that being one of our lineups in a depleting squad. I think we had some of those at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. Like all these players have played in the first team for MLS match. So yeah, for sure. In the midfield, we had Carrasco, we had Efra, and we had who else? We had?
I don't know how to pronounce the name. Q number 52. Q Brulaba.
Yeah. Him. I don't necessarily like. Again, right? We're at fault because we don't really follow. We really don't follow G2. So, I recognize him as a player. I don't know how to say his name. Kind of didn't know what to expect from him. On top, we had Subak with Emma, and who am I missing? I'm missing somebody here. Who am I missing here? Great podcasting, huh?
That's it. Let's just say that's it. Fuck it. We played with 10 and we won. Let me double check.
Point is, like,
out there with Zubak up top.
Emma out wide.
Who else was in the midfield?
I think I'm missing a midfielder because I think the kid from G2 played out wide, not in the midfield.
Yeah, he played a wing. He plays left wing, I believe. And Boateng was playing right.
Right. So who else was in the middle? It was
Carrasco and Efra and I
I'll
forgot.
tell you right now. It was
I can't believe I can't think.
Cuello, bro.
Cuello.
There it is.
Yeah, it wasn't like, again, Cuello, Efra, they've been with the first team, not necessarily game changers, but they've been with the first team. Karunik, I don't know how to say his name. Sorry, guy. I fuck up his name. First time seeing him with first team. Boateng, he's a regular with us sometimes, so I saw him. And Zubak. Listen, all this, whatever, is not necessarily like the worst team in the world, but it is not our A squad against Xolos A squad.
I wouldn't even say it's our B squad.
Whose?
To be honest. Ours.
Jeez. No.
Isn't that even a B squad?
No.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think it is?
I don't think Zubak plays on a B squad. I think we'd rather play Antuna up top instead of playing him.
Oh, so you're talking about even lower than B squad?
Yeah, it was
we can't even pronounce one of the guys' names.
It was like G2 and our reserves, or reserves and the bench with people.
Yeah.
As captain, and that's basically it. Like, if you really go down it, there's not a starter on that team.
Hey, let's talk about that with people. I was surprised that he even had to play. I was thinking more. I don't know if he was injured or not, but I kind of remember him. Yeah, Hilaire Arce.
He came in. He played for like 2 minutes.
Yep, at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
When got
but like people, I wouldn't have played.
But, I mean,
for minutes. But I get there needs to be a leader.
The thing is, you gotta play someone with experience against Xolos starting 11. This is the Xolos 11 that played on Friday,
and they won on Friday.
And they won. They beat Puebla. I was watching that game.
Yep. Yeah. So that to me was the real impressive thing, right? It was this team that put up a fight, like a good fight, versus a team that made it to playoffs last year in Liga MX, right? A team that competes with some good players, with a lot of pace. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this Galaxy team dominated that game, but they put up a fight, put up a valiant fight, which was impressive.
We scored first.
Yeah, we scored first. I mean, Emma doing Emma things. You know what I mean? Emma doing Emma things, right? But we scored. Again, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like we had a great game, but I'm gonna say I like the fight that we had. I like the attitude that came out of it. And then we did. I mean, listen. We knew that after 90 minutes, if it was a tie game, it was going to penalties. And when we got to the 90th, 95th minute or whatever it was, and took it to penalties, and the penalties is a crap shot, right? Like,
yep.
What goalie's gonna guess where the penalties getting taken and get there first?
Oh, he guessed them all.
Yeah. So did you guys see? I think MLS did an interview right after the game, and they asked him that. They're like, you guessed every single shot, and he stopped and he's like, no, I didn't guess. And I was okay. So
not done. Okay,
right. So apparently the goalkeeper coach and him worked a lot on penalties and kind of just looking at video on the tendencies of the players. So he kind of knew where they were going to shoot, and he kind of even with that being said, like it's kind of hard not to fucking second guess yourself or go with your gut.
Yeah,
like you have to have discipline, and he did. Man, Lanceup came up big in penalties.
especially with that new rule where
you have to have at least 1 foot online.
Yeah, on the
They're
line.
very strict about that shit.
Yeah.
Very strict.
The only disappointing thing for me in the whole match was Don. Don came in the second half.
Yeah.
And like remember when we drafted him, we were all kind of hyped on him. We're like, oh, this kid looks good. He looks like he looks like he could drive or whatever. Eesh, man, my guy had a really bad game. I mean, right? Like we didn't play a great game, but every touch he had, I think, was a bad touch that game. He came in the second half, and I was just like, eesh, like sucks, right? Because it was definitely a
I feel like that's why I kind of like this tournament too, because you get to see. This is where you get to see like who makes bench basically.
Yeah, this is your fighting chances. This is your fighting chance for people that want to prove a point. Yeah.
All right. Go for it.
No, just that like you're trying to break into the 18. You're trying to take that step from G2 to
the first team.
Fucking first team. This is it right here. I mean, what better way? You're playing against a quality opposition, dog, because all the Mexican teams are going to play with their close to starting 11 because the league told them, like, you got to play with your starting 11. So
and that's been true for all the Mexican teams, right? Because even America today, like, they beat Houston in penalties. Shout out to Houston, too. Like, I didn't think...
That was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he scored a banger.
And, yeah, so, but in America, and that's America's A spot, too, right? So, like... I'm not even going to that. The Galaxy, they came up with it. Like I said, my only disappointment was Don. We won the penalties. Before we move on, I want to ask one quick question.
Okay.
We play the same squad on August 20th?
I think we play a better squad.
You think so?
I think we
take it. Squad. Like, okay, there's 3
remember,
games.
Right? So, hold on.
3 games to win a championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So...
That means nothing. That means nothing but monetary.
Okay, but it's still a trophy.
Okay, so
let's hold on. To that, I want to say, but it's also the same thing with the U.S. Open Cup. We moved up around, and we thought that we were going to do something, and then completely flipped.
But this is a little different, though.
Because it's monetarily?
No, because we stay home.
Yeah.
U.S. Open Cup was away. If we kept advancing.
Here's my problem with that, right? I'll give my take. I would like to see the same squad or very similar to this squad again, or just make the run in this cup, right? Just make it as far as you can with this cup, especially because this game is sandwiched in between Seattle at home and Levas away, right? So it's in between those two matches. Listen, look at the standings right now, right? It's Levas, us, and then Seattle. I don't think it'll change much, maybe with Portland or something like that. But it's going to be top 4. We're playing top 4 in the Western Conference, those 2 matches for sure. And I kind of rather have, like these guys, even if maybe even people like sits out and you have THA and maybe like a Junie in or something like that, right? Just because you want some experience, you put in Junie in this squad.
That's true, though. We might have some players that we don't have now, like Perry Kitchen, Juninho might play next game. So.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel you 100%. I wouldn't want to risk my starting 11 in that week where we play those 2 teams because those are direct rivals.
Yep. This game is going to be held next week?
No.
August 20th.
August 20th, okay.
Yeah, it's August 20th.
August 20th?
Yeah.
Damn, in a month.
Yeah. In August 20th. Like I said, that's what I think we play Seattle on the 17th, which is a Wednesday, I believe. And then Levas on Sunday. So it's
isn't the MLS All-Star around that time too?
No, MLS All-Star is sandwiched in between Portland and Atlanta. So it's on Tuesday of next week or something like that.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right, for sure.
All right, boys. Dope shit. Shout out to all the reserves and all the young players that proved their point and got us a victory via penalties on Tuesday last night. But now we move on. On Saturday we play Portland. Right, a team that has gotten better. A team that in the last 5 has won against NYCFC, won against LAFC on the U.S. Open Cup, but then tied 2-2 versus Colorado at home and tied 1-1 against Orlando at home. Although this weekend they did beat Seattle away. A team that at least from the last 5 looks like they're not as convincing as at home as they are away. and a team that not too long ago, maybe it was like maybe a month ago, got knocked us out of the U.S. Open Cup. All right. So it's interesting. It's a team that's coming up on the playoffs, on the playoff positioning, direct rival. So it's a to me it's another important match, right? I think from here on out, every single match we play against Western Conference opposition, we have to make sure that we get some points from it via home or away. All right. It's getting down to. Like I said, I think we have 5 home games left, right? 20 games played. We have 14 games in total, so it means we have a lot of games away. But we got to make sure that we're getting some points, especially against Western Conference. Before we get into what we think about the game and all that, we got thoughts on lineup. I know Angel's not here, as if you guys seen the video, you can see, and if you hear the audio, you could tell because Angel hasn't sung.
You definitely know. Yet. 2 seconds into the podcast, he's not here.
But he shot in his prediction and his lineup. But what about you guys? What are your thoughts on lineups?
I personally feel we go with the same lineup that we played against Levas. Exactly the same.
I agree 100%.
Is that including
that's
Araujo?
Including people and
Araujo white?
Yeah. I think you give Araujo the benefit of the doubt and you try him again. If it worked out for you that game, I don't see why not. Portland has a not necessarily similar style to Levas, but they kind of play the same formation, just with little modifications here and there. So I think it'll work out. And I think if Araujo and Antuna are on game again, then we could give anybody trouble.
So to that point, I wouldn't be surprised if Eflin takes Araujo's spot.
Well, right to Angel's point, Angel said in his lineup, he said the same things. You guys saying that same lineup, with the exception of Araujo, just because he played close to 90 minutes on Tuesday, right? He was
so did Efra. So we're playing Boateng then. Well, Boateng went 92. Efra went 90.
Yeah,
Araujo went 90.
So but Efra only has 1 game compared to Emma and Araujo. They played back to back Levas and this one.
So we think we recovered faster.
Kind of rested.
I think Araujo recovers.
Araujo 100%.
Yeah. So that might be the case.
I think he's the fittest. He's the fittest.
First one
of the 3.
So interesting too, because last week when they interviewed GBS, and I'm pretty sure find out tomorrow about this. But last week when they interviewed GBS, he talked about Leggett starting to practice on Monday. So that being a couple of days ago. Is there any chance of Leggett being in that field instead of?
I wouldn't risk it, especially it being on turf.
I don't think so, because I read something that, even though he starts practicing this week, they don't reevaluate him till the following week. So that's after Portland.
After Portland? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. And again, I think we'll find out tomorrow. We're recording on Wednesday night, so they usually have some kind of report out Thursday or Friday morning. So we might find out tomorrow what the status of Leggett is. It's interesting. I don't know about that right or left side who's gonna play, but I think that's gonna be a change of who we see there just because of the minutes they've been playing. I don't know. Again, right? I believe it's gonna be a game we take serious and we want to win. So I think we'll see who's the fittest to play there. I think that's the only one that I'm questioning. Knowing that Zlatan is available, I'm sure he'll go 90 minutes. I'm sure he's trying to get some more goals in just to kind of prove that it wasn't just for LAFC that he could show up. Yeah, man, I'm excited. Let's talk about what we think Galaxy needs to do to get a result in Portland.
I think a little bit of the same when it comes to the midfield, especially. I mean, luckily they don't have that speed in Chara because he has that yellow card accumulation, so he's not going to be playing this game. So I think that's definitely a huge advantage to us. But definitely compressing the midfield, because I think that's how they ripped us a new one for the U.S. Open Cup. Just other than that, a lot of the same for what we did against Levas, compressing the midfield, letting Jonah distribute, and Fabio doing those fast touches.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. I think if we could replicate exactly what we did in against the LAFC, that's what we need to do, right?
Especially in a team like this, like you said, they played a little similar.
Yeah,
I play a little similar. It's just that I feel they have that really good attacking midfielder, which is Diego Valeri.
Well, right. So before, because I get what you're saying, and I have thoughts on how they carried us too. What do you talk to me about the Galaxy. Like, what does the Galaxy have to do? Anything different than, or anything in specific for this game against Portland? Did he get frozen? Masa might have got frozen. See, I should have shut him up. He was on fire, dog.
Yeah, he was on a roll.
I interrupted him and he froze out. He'll come back right now. George, you have anything else? Anything specific that you think we need to
do? Specifically, honestly, I want to add a little bit of crossing into Zlatan. I think we lack that in the LAFC. Which, listen, by all means, but I want a little bit of that of either we could play through the floor or we could play through the top, which is a lot of what we've been asking, kind of changing it up. So teams don't know what to do. It was really hard for Levas to get a hold of us playing down the middle or playing on the floor. But I think getting those crosses in, the Polenta cross, obviously it was a bad clearance. He got to check. But I want to see us create down the wings and put them in as well as doing the one touches to our midfield.
Listen, and I might be wrong because I don't necessarily watch a lot of Portland soccer games, but I don't think they're that. I don't think their wide backs are as fast as Araujo can be, so we could expose them on direct long balls to Araujo and have him go inline and cross it in. I think that could be a key for us to get some goals or some easy looks for Zlatan. The ones that Zlatan kind of puts away on a regular basis. So I agree with you. Again, right? I think the question is who's going to play the other wing and see. Yeah. Do we do it both sides or just kind of relying on Antuna to have that speed and kind of beat them towards that? But yeah, I agree. Now, Portland, Portland has a lot of weapons. Off the top of the head, they have Valeri, they have Blanco. Charo's not in there, which is a good thing. But they also have fucking Brian Fernandez, who's been fucking fire since he came to this league. One thing that I want to say right off the bat is you got to keep an eye on Brian Fernandez and his off the ball runs. If you guys see, did you get to see the goal? The second goal he scored against Seattle this week?
The one that came down the mid, the one that came through the wing and he touched it in. Yeah, nice. So that's a lot of that shit that we should be doing. But his runs are really good, and I think you could go ahead and finish. But I think you're going to say that me personally, I don't think our defenders are good covering that
or tracking those runs, and that's a little scary. So and there's definitely a good angle or a good shot of that goal where it's kind of further back and it's panned out wider, and you see where the run starts. The run starts like almost close to the left side than it is to the middle, right? And he just makes that run and kind of points to where he wants it. The ball gets delivered and he gets there. And we've seen a lot of times where those runs our defense kind of checks out on whose man that is.
Yep.
And we get hurt. So it's funny because I watched the extended highlight of that game, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh. Like, yeah, we could have a problem with that, right? Like, nothing else really scares me, but when I seen somebody moving, and it wasn't only that, like, there was a couple times he made some runs that he didn't get hit or he didn't get connected to, that in my case, I think they could beat our defense. You know what I mean? That's a little scary.
Especially with them having Sebastian Blanco, they're going to be focused on him. A lot of the defense is going to be focused on him. So when you have someone like that making runs, it might get lost in translation, and that could hurt us.
Yeah. Especially because I think both Valeri and Blanco, like they lie a little further down on the pitch, right? They're deeper than most like attacking midfielders. So that means they're getting pulled out a little bit, and if they get pulled out and he makes a run at the right time, I think it catches. So when we talk about what they can hurt us with, I think that's the biggest key for them. I think if they expose us on those off the ball runs and our players like check off for a second, we'll probably see a couple different scenarios where they could score on us because of that.
And honestly, I think that's where our wings come in, tracking back and helping our defender out. If Polenta does play that left, whoever's on the left, Antuna, helping him back to come, I think that's going to be huge because then that's going to stop that. Even regardless if our defense in the back is getting beat, the ball's not even getting in. Which obviously you want them to be able to see that, but if we could stop it, let's stop it.
Same thing goes for like Corona and Jonah, right? They're gonna have to be busy cutting out those through passes before Brian Fernandez gets a chance to beat our defense. I think that's gonna be key in order to stop that. But listen, I think it's gonna be a good match. I'm kind of hoping because I I don't know if I'm tripping, but I kind of want to remember that like the first maybe 40, 30 minutes of that U.S. Open Cup when we had a team that wasn't necessarily like, again, it wasn't our A squad. It wasn't our ideal starting 11. We played well for like the first 30.
It was like a first like good 20 minutes up until when they scored. We controlled the ball. Emma had like 2 chances. I think that's when we played Emma up top because Zlatan did it or something like that. Yeah, we could have definitely gone in there. If we go in there, listen, we say it all the time. We need to score first.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
Especially there.
Yeah, we need to score first. I think we need to also make sure that that Jonas on the ball a lot early, so he could dictate the tempo. Like if he starts kind of controlling the whole game, it's always a good look for us when Jonas really the one dictating everything, right? When we have, when we have him recovering a lot and kind of trying to stop plays and not really starting plays, I think we hurt a little bit. So I want to see them really get out there and get him the ball early and
to that point. To that point as well, I don't want Jonah tracking back. Same thing with Fabio Alvarez. I think the good impacts that we had in our last game is because they played true to their position and they didn't have to do more than what was expected, and they killed it for what they were doing. Yeah, Fabio Alvarez with the one-touch passes, creating spaces for the forwards. If you had to control the ball, everyone else was making runs. A lot of that.
Yep. Masa, you there? Masa not there?
Ball one confirmed.
Masa might have got stuck. All right. And I think to what Masa was going to talk about is the fact that they have players like Valeri and like Blanco in their midfield that could create moments too, right? We talk about moments for the Galaxy. I think they could do the same with those players because those players are legit good players. I'm sure if Angel's here, he'll be talking about Blanco because that's one of his players that he likes, even from his Argentina days. So,
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I don't think you can knock him out. And then when you have a striker like Brian Fernandez, we got to be in a. I think offensively, I feel like we could score on them. Mm-hmm. Offensively, I feel like we could score on them. What I'm more concerned is how effective we're going to be defending them, right? The good thing is, like I said, like I mentioned before we started talking about lineups and what the Galaxy could do, is that the last 2 home games they haven't been able to get a win, right? Like they've been drawing against Colorado and Orlando. Was going to talk shit, but those teams,
they beat us.
Yeah, or at least Colorado beat us. You know what I mean? So, it's MLS.
And honestly, there's something about LA going out to Portland. It always makes for a good game. They always add that, especially Blanco. If I'm not mistaken, I think Blanco's one of the first game against us. I think it was U.S. Open Cup last year where he just exposed us. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, so it might have been last year. Yeah, but it's gonna be a good game. I'm really. Yeah, I don't see. I really legit think it's gonna be a good game. Right? We'll see goals for sure in this fucking.
It's gonna be an exciting game. If obviously the Levas has that emotion to it, but I think it's gonna be a really back and forth game on this game.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some predictions. Angel, like I said, is not here, but he sent in his predictions saying we'll win 3-2 with a Zlatan double and a goal from Jonah. I like that, actually. I was getting something close to that. George, what you have?
I'm going 2-1. We get a Zlatan goal and we get a Fabio Alvarez goal. I think he's overdue after the header. I want him to get his.
Yeah, seriously, man. He deserves a goal, which I'm not mad at either. I'm gonna say 3-1 with a double from Zlatan. And you know what? I'll give 5-1 too. I'll give 5-1 too. Masa's sending in his prediction right now.
Question: when it comes to Zlatan, since you just mentioned him, and we talked about the whole disciplinary committee. Do you think he changes? Do you think anything changes? Do you think he plays with a little bit less intensity because he knows that there's a microscope on him? Because listen, if he goes in hard on any play, it's going to be the referee's going to be on it. Everyone's going to be on that. Well, what do you think that approach is to this game?
Listen, I hope it doesn't change a damn thing other than the extras, right? And I'm talking like the choking or the caressing of Sean Johnson's neck. Or like, the times he wilded out like that are like, come on, dog. Like, you know what I mean? As long as he doesn't do that, I still want him to go in hard. I still want him to challenge everything in the air. And I don't want him to change none of that. You know what I mean? If they're gonna charge him hard, if they're gonna judge him harshly, then it is what it is. Have him be, you know, what I mean, it is what it is. Like if he gets yellow cards or whatever, I don't want him to change though, because I think if he changes that, like he might overthink his positioning and fuck it up, right? So I don't want him to change. All right,
last prediction. Go the full 90.
I hope so.
Honestly, I hope not. I hope we lock it in early and Zlatan gets a goodbye in the 60th minute because it is turf.
Yeah. No, listen. I think that'd be if we could lock it in early, that'd be great. Unfortunately, I got to think like we've been talking. I think it's gonna be high scoring game. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to say lock it in at all this game, right? I think it might be like one of those games that like in the 90th minute, we're like, it's over. All right, you know what I mean? Like it's done. And I think he'll have like shit minutes in the MLS game, and I also think he might see less minutes in Atlanta. But we'll talk about Atlanta next week. But you know, what I mean, it's gonna be something. All right, Masa sending in his predictions because he lost his connection with his boo boo ass Curaçao internet. He's saying he's also saying 3-1 with Galaxy win with Zlatan, Antuna, and Fabio scoring. So we all got wins. We all said wins last week. So let's keep that trend going and get another.
We're all getting scored on too.
Yep. Listen, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. I just need 3 points against the Western opposition, and hopefully some of the Western teams lose again, and you know maybe we keep cutting down that lead and keeping that second place or you know at least top 4. So I'm cool with this. 3 wins. You said what 3-2, right?
No, 2-1.
2-1. Angel said 3-2. I said 3-1. Masa says 3-1. So we're all gonna see some goals, at least according to us. ACB plugs. Top of the dome, we have viewing parties. They will be posted tomorrow all over the place. Long Beach, Whittier, OC, downtown LA, San Diego, Long Beach. Like we're all over the place. So get out to a viewing party, watch some games with the fellow G's. We're also gonna have for the people traveling up to
Shout
Portland.
Out to everyone fucking traveling to that. Yep. Our numbers are sick. Do you have a confirmed number?
No, I do not. But I know it's at 300. Right?
300 plus for sure.
Plus, yeah. So there's a lot. So that like the whole away section is sold out. So it's gonna be a good amount. For all you guys out there on the away trip, there's a away day meetup at McNammons. Don't take my fucking word for it. Like we're gonna be a graphic file for you to see it. Make something blue moon. Make something blue moon. Don't worry about finding the name out right. Just go on our Twitter, go on ACB's Twitter, go on ACB's IG, go on our IG. We'll repost it. But there is a meetup from 3:30 to 5:30. A great time to meet up and then just kind of walk into the stadium together. Make some fucking noise, have a good time. I love Portland. I'm kind of upset that I'm not going to Portland this year because Portland is probably one of my favorite away trips. Just everything about Portland is dope. People in Portland are dope. Good weed, good food, good vegan food. I love everything about that.
The ramen, y'all motherfuckers better try. If Brigham Base is going, bring me back some ramen. That shit was fire.
All right, boys. So that's that for the plugs because Angel's not here and he didn't give me a fucking. You didn't give me a plugs, and I also didn't bother to investigate.
I'm pretty sure that's about
right. It. What are we covering?
Angel just takes 10 minutes, so it sounds like it's a lot.
All right, boys. And with that being said, there's another episode of Straight from the Stands, The Tailgate. I'm your boy Rudy at I'm Smarts on Twitch, on Instagram, on Twitter.
There you go.
Got it all out.
We just did it on Monday. Come on. This is George, the Undefeated 7. For those of you traveling, safe travels. Everyone have fun.
Bring back
let's go.
Dub.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what we need.
And since Masa's not here, peace, love, she's up.
I won't confirm.